If you're new to WordPress and you just got your site up and running, now is the perfect time to configure all of your SEO settings. I've been building WordPress websites for over 14 years. I've tried all kinds of different plugins and themes, so in this video, I'll walk you through the basic settings that are going to ensure that your website gets crawled and indexed so that you can get traffic from search engines and LLMs like ChatGPT. First up, we're going to go into settings and go into the general settings. The first thing you want to do is set your site title. This is going to be a recurring site title throughout all of your pages, so you just want to make sure that you have that set. You don't need to set a tagline because when you install an SEO plugin, it's going to handle all of the taglines for your pages. And then you want to make sure that you have a site icon. The site icon should be 512 by 512 pixels. And this is the icon that's going to show up in your browser. It's also the site icon that's going to show up on search results. So you can see that all of these websites have different site icons. They're sometimes called favicons, but in WordPress, they're called site icons. If you don't have a site icon or a favicon, you can use Canva. Canva is free and you can use AI features to just generate a favicon for you. For this icon, I used Canva's AI features and it made it for me in about 10 seconds. When you're creating your icon, you just want to make sure that it has a transparent background. In Canva, you can set that when you go to download your file. Next up, you don't want to touch your WordPress address or your site address. If you change these, it'll actually break your website. So in my example, I'm using a staging website and I can't even change them. So just make sure that you don't mess with these, otherwise it's going to be a headache to fix it. In general settings, if your website is not going to be in English, you can change the language there. Next up, you want to set your permalink structure, which is in these settings under permalinks. And this is actually going to define the URL structure of your posts on your website. By default, it's going to have a flat URL structure, which is just /postname. So if you were to go look at a post and check the URL structure, you're going to see that it's just flat like this, which is the default structure of /postname. So you can see that the URL slug is called hello-world for this example. And because it's flat, it's just going to be nested against the root domain and there's going to be nothing in between. You can change this. For example, you can add category to the structure. So now it's /category/postname. And I actually highly recommend this structure because it'll give you cleaner URLs. So if I were to create a new category like AI avatars and then assign this post to that category, now it's going to update the URL structure for my website. So now you can see that the URL is /AI avatars/hello world. And when I go to the AI avatars category page, I can see my post within it. So this is a slightly cleaner and more organized structure than just the default. I don't recommend doing any of the other URL structures. I'd say either category postname or just postname. Personally, I prefer /category. You can also rename your category and tag base. And that's just the URL slug for your category. So if you don't want it to be called category, you could rename it to something like topics. So if I rename it to topics and save that, then when I go back to my category page, it's going to be called /topics/AI avatars instead of /category. And then you want to check your reading settings, which is also in the settings sidebar here. And you just want to make sure that search engine visibility is unchecked. There's an option here to discourage search engines from indexing the website. So if you check this and turn it on, it'll actually make your whole site unindexable. And sometimes when you install WordPress, that is turned on by default, depending on how you got your WordPress set up. Some easy installers will turn this on by default so that you can get your site set up before it gets indexed. I've seen issues before where business owners had this checked in their site settings and their site wasn't actually indexable. And they couldn't figure out why their website wasn't getting any traffic. And all we had to do was uncheck this. So make sure that this is unchecked and hit Save Changes. And now we need to add an SEO plugin to the website. So we're going to go over to plugins on the sidebar here. And we're going to hit Add Plugin up here. Your WordPress website needs an SEO plugin because it's going to control some of the essential functionalities like your sitemaps, your redirects, and your schema markup. The most popular one that's been around forever is Yoast SEO. The all-in-one SEO plugin is also pretty good, and the Rank Math plugin is also pretty good. If you're new to SEO, I'd recommend using the Yoast SEO plugin because it has some great features that show you how to optimize your pages for maximum visibility for your target keyword. So I'm going to go ahead and install Yoast SEO. And once you click install, you just have to activate it. And Yoast even has a configuration wizard, so you can just run through these steps and it'll get everything set up for you. So I'm just going to work my way through all of the setup steps. I don't have any social profiles yet, so I'm just going to skip those. But if you had them, you would go ahead and add those. You can sign up for their free email spam. I'm going to opt out of that. And I'm also going to opt out of collecting site data. And once that's set up, we can go into the settings on the sidebar and set up some of the more advanced features. So for example, under site basics, we can set up a title tag separator. I like the default dash separator. Some people use the pipe separator, but you can change this if you like. I'll set a default site image, and then you can also set the title tag and meta description structure for your posts and pages. So for example, the default is title page separator site title. So when you go into a post, that looks something like this. The post is called Hello World. If it doesn't have a title, it'll default back to the page name. And then it'll use the separator, which for me is the dash, and then the site title. And then Yoast also has optimization features, which will tell you how optimized your page is for a focus key phrase. Then it'll also provide some basic SEO analysis of what your page is missing and what is good about your page. For example, it'll tell you if your key phrase is in your title or if it's mentioned within your page. So the goal with Yoast is to get as many green lights as possible and then get rid of all of the red lights. And once you install Yoast, you'll get a sitemap, which is updated automatically, and it's going to house all of your pages and posts from your website. And Yoast will categorize them by posts and pages. Sitemaps are really important for search engines because they frequently crawl the sitemaps to see what pages are on your website and to see if there's any new pages that they haven't crawled or indexed yet. So your sitemap is actually the main way that your pages are discovered by search engines. And in order for your pages to get picked up by LLMs like ChatGPT, they also need to be in a sitemap because LLMs are referencing sitemaps and search results to find pages as well. The best part about using an SEO plugin is you're going to get automatic sitemaps, which means that you don't have to change it or update it. When you add new pages to your website, it'll automatically update your sitemap. Once you have your SEO plugin configured, there's one more that I'd recommend, which is a speed plugin. Speed plugins basically control your caching, image optimization, and all kinds of little things that speed up your website. WordPress is notorious for having bloated code that slows down your website. So I'd highly recommend installing a speed optimization plugin. There's lots of options to choose from. So you just want to go with a popular one like Hummingbird or Fastest Cache or WP Rocket. I'm going to go with WP Optimize because I've used it for a lot of different websites. Once you install WP Optimize, there's a few different options that you can do. So number one is you can clean up your database. WordPress uses a database which can get really bloated over time. So WP Optimize has built-in features to handle some of the default optimizations to clean up your database. For example, it can get rid of auto-saved drafts and post revisions, which just take up space in your database and slow down your website. Next up, under images, we can turn on automatically compress newly added images. So this will basically shrink down images that are way too big, and it makes their file size smaller. So if you're uploading giant images to your website, that's actually one of the fastest ways to slow it down. For example, if you upload an image that's 4,000 pixels wide and someone is viewing it on their phone, they don't need all 4,000 pixels, but it's still going to load that gigantic image, which is going to slow down your page significantly. And having a slow loading page can significantly reduce your conversion rate, and it'll increase your bounce rate, which is how many people are leaving your website without even looking at other pages. Having poor conversions and a high bounce rate is also going to negatively impact your rankings and traffic. So you want to make sure your website is fast, and one of the best ways to do that is with image optimization. A lot of image optimization tools are not free, but WP Optimize has free image optimization, which comes from the Resmushit API. I can also turn on page caching in the settings. You just have to flip it on and it does it automatically for you. Preloading will also speed up your website. When you have preload turned on, it will start to load other pages on your website in the background, so that when a user comes to your website and they click on one of your other pages, it's already preloaded in the background and it's going to load even faster for them. You also want to turn on gzip compression, because this will shrink the requests that users get when they're visiting your website, and it'll just speed it up a little bit more. In my example, I'm already using Brotli compression, so I don't need gzip. And then for minify, you also want to minify your HTML, JavaScript, and CSS. This basically just gets rid of all of the line breaks and empty space between your code, which will shrink down your file sizes and make your pages faster to load. WP Optimize also has a 404 detector, so I'm just going to turn that on. A 404 is when a user hits a page on your website that doesn't actually exist. So you want to be monitoring these to make sure that users aren't hitting 404s. If all of a sudden a bunch of users get 404 errors on your website, it could mean that one of your pages is broken. So you want to just be monitoring your 404s, and WP Optimize has a feature for that. Once you have your site settings and your permalinks set up and an SEO plugin installed and configured, as well as an optimization plugin configured, your website is set up for SEO success. It's going to have an improved URL structure, it's going to have sitemaps, and it's going to load a lot faster. Even if you're running an existing website, you can apply all of these same changes. The only thing you want to be careful of is if you change your URL structure. So if you're running an existing website and you change your URL structure, you're going to have to update your redirects. You'll likely have posts on your website that have internal links pointing to them, and they'll be using the old internal link. So if someone were to click on that link and you've changed your URL structure, they'll actually get 404s. So if you're changing your structure, you want to make sure that you add a redirect from your old post to your new post. Most SEO tools come with a redirect manager. If you don't have a redirection tool, you can actually just grab one from the plugin library. The most common one is this redirection plugin. It just makes it really easy to add and update redirects to your site. If you're using an SEO tool like Rank Math, it has a built-in redirection manager. You want to go ahead and add those redirects and just test them to make sure that they work. It can be a major pain to add tons of redirects to your site, which is why it's better to decide on the URL structure for your whole site before you build it out, because it's a lot harder to change it once it's already set. So that's it for this video. It's really easy to set up your WordPress website for SEO success. It just takes a few settings and plugins to get it sorted out. It is important to do these though, because out of the box, WordPress doesn't have the best SEO settings, and it doesn't come with any caching or optimization either. Even the URL structure is kind of bad by default. So making these updates will ensure that your WordPress website is going to rank and get lots of traffic.